Welcome to the Afterspin, opinions from thought leaders in our state. I want to ask Chris Fitzsimon and John Hood. The legislature passed a law saying that historical statues couldn't be removed from public grounds unless there was either a safety issue or the land was needed for public purposes. For much of this time, we've been focusing on Silent Sam, the monument dedicated to UNC students in the Civil War. But recently, there's been a great controversy of the Confederate statue in Chatham County. This week, a judge halted the plan for moving it. Why haven't we been able to resolve this issue, and what should be done? John, I'll start with you.
Well, I'll say very quickly on the Chatham matter, that has to do, the legal matter is who owns the statue. If it is owned by the United Daughters of the Confederacy, then it can be removed. But the UDC says, we don't own it, we gave it to the county, and if that's true, then it can't be moved under state law. My solution to this, as I've argued for years, is to stop talking about taking statues down and start talking more about putting statues up. I've actually made a conscious effort in the last 2 or 3 years to go see lots of county seats. Go to county courthouses and see. In most cases, there isn't very much monument up. And there is plenty of opportunity to put some monuments up. Now, that doesn't argue for saving every single statue. I'm not saying that. But it'd be way more productive to be talking about which North Carolinians have we not honored, which movements, which political events have we not honored, and let's honor them. And let's put up statues and monuments and murals and all sorts of other public art and stop talking simply about taking things down.
Now, the state's getting ready to begin something like that because
the North Carolina Freedom Park, yes.
The North Carolina Freedom Park.
Right.
Chris, what's your take on this?
Well, I mean, this is an issue that we're going to be battling. It's going on in all southern states, going on in a lot of states. I think the state law that takes powers away from the local government should be repealed. I thought that was a bad move by the General Assembly to pass it, and I'm not against putting other monuments up, but I still think we've talked about this many times on the show. This monument, like many of them, were not put up after the Civil War. They were put up during the Jim Crow era in the early 20th century. They were explicitly, in many cases, put up to celebrate the Confederacy, not the people who died there in the Confederate. It was the principles of the Confederacy. And as an African American, as a white American, as somebody walking by those statues to do public business in a public courthouse, a monument which is significantly dedicated, at least in part, to slavery and the worst sin this country has ever imagined, the country's original sin, I do find it offensive, and it's just stunning that we're still stuck here.
But John makes a good point about this. Going back to the discussion that you had earlier about the legislature gave the power, the decision-making power, to the State Historical Commission. Are they punning here?
What? No, I mean, this issue is about...
That hasn't come to that yet,
right,
because the debate here is about, is the statue public property or not? Right. If it's public property, then it cannot be removed under state law unless those exceptions are triggered, and then it might become a matter for the commission. But right now, the dispute has not gotten to that stage. Because it's about, is it in fact a public monument or not? If it's still owned by the nonprofit entity, then technically they could take it down without violating the state law. That's at least what Chatham is arguing.
But why shouldn't the county commissioners of Chatham County, the people in Pittsburgh, the people in Chatham County, their elected representatives, why shouldn't they make this decision? Why should this be a State Historical Commission decision? I mean, that's the fundamental question. And I don't know, I mean, because
I think when you get down on the county level is when you really start seeing the schisms.
Well, but this county has voted, though. That's the point.
That is true.
The county has voted to remove it.
I understand the argument about let the local, just to be clear about this, that would not have resolved the Silent Sam dispute, because that's on state property,
right.
And we would not let counties take down things on state property, never.
Right. I suspect we're going to continue talking about this for many years to come, as we do many issues. Well, thank you for watching the Afterspin. We'll have more video all during the week on ncspin.com.